Hope everybody's doing okay. I want to go back and make a video to try and help with, at least you can see my process in Quizlet. And I'll try to make it as concise and well organized as possible. Before I do that, I want to also go back and look at what we talked about with printing your rosters or getting digital copies of your roster off of SIS. So let me change my mouse real quick. Focus. So as you know, you can navigate through your rosters up here in the top right. And if you want to get a roster from your Gradebook, come over here to Gradebook tab, you can click on it. And then you can download it here, or you can print it here. So that'll download, you'll open it in your downloads as a CSV file, which is similar to Excel. And then, but I want to show you how to get it from reports if you're interested in that. Okay, if you go to reports and then you go to advanced report, you can actually pull a roster of all your kids instead of just by class, and it is quicker unless it's too cumbersome and you don't understand it. It's pretty quick. Student demo, they want us using nicknames and last names. And then I would add the student ID. Okay, notice as I click on the green, it comes over here. It's going to do that in the order that you choose also. If you mess it up, you can move it. You can click on it and move it. Okay. And then there's all kinds of demographic information that you can add if you want to, but for my purposes or showing you this, I'm going to come down to the schedule, teacher and courses. Okay. I'm going to add through all 8 periods. Oh, it actually, it moves up as you click on them. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put third hour down below second hour. Or I'm going to move second hour up. Maybe it's more. Okay. So now they're in order. 4, 5, 6, 7. And the 8th hour, I guess, is their, I think it's their counselor. That's what they told us. Now, this is important. Search all sections. Okay. And then run report. And what you have now is a Excel, well, it'll be Excel if you download it, or CSV of the whole schedule. And I'm going to show you how you can make that work for you. Well, I'm going to show you how I do it. And if it's beyond your skill set, I can set it up for you if you want me to. Okay, so that's been downloaded. And now what I'm going to do, it's in my downloads folder. I'm just going to go straight to my Google Chrome. And I'm going to do a new, so I'm in a specific folder that I want to be in. Okay, whatever folder you want is fine. New file upload. And I'm going to grab that advanced report that I just ran, open it, and I'm gonna replace existing because it is what it is. Then I'm gonna open it in, so it's here. Okay, I'm gonna open with Google Sheets. Now that's how I always do all of my finagling of sheets, finagling of information in Google Sheets. I don't do it in the CSV. All right. So let me show you something real quick. You may or may not know. if you want to get this how you want it, where all the columns are this as wide as the data in the column, you can highlight and then just go to any of the where the cursor turns like this and double click, and now it's all sized to the data in that row. That might be a trick everybody knows. I'm not sure. It took me a long time to know to actually figure that out. So I also like to drag this gray bar to the bottom of my column or my row heading. That way, as I scroll, those names, those headings stay where they are. And I also like to drag this gray bar over to the other side of the student ID. All right, so now, once again, I'm working in Google Classroom right now. I'm sorry, Google Drive. Maybe I'll rename it roster with schedules. Roster schedule roster. Something like that. All right. All right. Now, I like to have these names separated. So I'm going to double click, or sorry, what's that left? I'm working on the mouse pads. I don't remember. I think that's I have a wireless mouse here. So hold on. So is that right click or yeah, right click. I'm gonna insert a column left. Oh, I still have everything highlighted. That's the problem. Okay, I'm gonna insert a couple columns left just to be safe, so I don't accidentally erase any of my data. I'm going to highlight this whole column. I'll come up to data, split text to columns, and I'm going to choose semicolon. Okay, so that semicolon is gone now, and I have my first names or my nicknames separate from my last names. Okay, so I didn't need this one. I'm always worried about erasing data. Now, the last step, this is the step I can help you with if you want to do it this way. Okay, I already have this formula copied on my clipboard. Okay, this little formula basically searches all of this schedule and brings back the number from this column, from this row, for which period it is. Okay, so we hit enter. So I have this student in 7th hour. That is not right though. What did I do here? Because okay, here's what happened. I messed with my rows. And so I need to actually be E2 to K2. And I have that student in 6th hour, yes. Okay. I can help you with this. It would be something that you would need to not mess with. Drag it down. And so now all these students are showing up in the correct period. And now I can, if I want to, okay, I can organize per period now instead of just alphabetically. And that's what I'm going to do. So this is a data sort, which you're probably familiar with. So data sort range, I always just say, okay, what we want to be, column A. You could do it advanced here, or you could say column A to Z. Just going to put it in alphanumeric order. This mouse is a little jacked up. That's why it keeps doing that. So there we go. So now I have my whole roster of all my students in one file, and with a column added for their schedules. Okay, or a column added for their what class period I have them. And now, because this is cumbersome, okay, this is something I didn't realize you could do until like into last year. I don't know why, because it's obvious and pretty common. I can hide it, hide columns E through K. I think it's because it's more cumbersome on Excel, which is what I used to always use. That's why I never do the hiding process, but now I do. So I've hidden all those, and I guess you don't get, I guess that period 8 doesn't populate. So maybe you don't need it. Okay. All right, so that's that, and you can download this. I would advise working in Google Classroom and then downloading Excel from Google Classroom if you want it locally. I used to work locally and then upload, but I prefer to be on the drive now. Just my opinion. All right, so how many minutes have I? So this is not concise. I'm sorry. But that's it for roster downloads. Okay. You can ask me questions, email me, or in meetings I can walk you through it if you want. Now we're going to Quizlet. Okay. On Quizlet, this is how I've always done. Well, not always, but very recently done all of my vocab. So you see here. Let me see. I actually had notes for what were the most important things to cover here. So this plus sign is important for adding classes or study sets or folders. Okay, and there's a couple different places where you'll see that plus sign. Here's your profile. You'll see my username here. That'll come in handy here in a second. Profile, settings, library. You can look for classes you have, specific study sets. They all show up, even archived ones. This is new. I'm not sure what's going on here. Folders and so forth. Okay, so what we talked about today is this right here. Okay, folders. Cycle 1 is where I have uploaded our vocabulary for our first story beneath. And the little charts we get from Blender give you here, let me show you. I think it's probably right here. Okay, I've already converted it to this so that I could upload it, so I could import it easily. So we've got a sentence example and we've got a definition, and I have done 2 lists, and I make my students do each of them. All right, and I've shared these with you, and I've shared the folder with you. Okay, so I have the students go through flashcards, learn, test, and match. Okay, have them do that multiple times over the course of the story. They can study at home as well. Right here, underneath the page where your flashcards are, it shows you that I'm still learning these 10. I make my students have a screen that says mastered all 10. Okay, and if you scroll down, I think so it says still learning 10 here, and then I think however many they've mastered is down here. You see not studied, there's one I haven't studied at all. Okay, and then mastered will be down here too. Now you need to know how to invite your students. Okay, so let me go to my library and look at my classes. We'll say 7th hour. And you have a button here where you can say add members. Okay, you also have a link here where you can do this. You could put that in your Google Classroom stream if you'd like. That's right here. Okay, I wish this thing would save and not keep doing that. Oh, maybe that's what I need to do. Okay. So you could put that link into your stream and then have people do it, or you could email it, which is what I usually do. Or apparently, I just learned you can click here and scroll down and invite by linking Google Classroom. Okay, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to mess up the invites I already have, but it appears as though you can follow, make sure to select your account, and I believe it's as straightforward as following the prompts. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess up, like I said, what I've already got going. Okay, now if I look at my members, once people have started signing into your classes, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should, I'm sorry, I've gotten a little bit backwards here. Focus. So if I want to add a class, okay, you see how I've named my class a 7th hour reading or whatever. Okay, you can add classes that way. You can add study sets that way. Okay, you can create a set like that. You can do it one at a time, and a lot of times it'll pop up with, okay, I already got, okay, give me a new set. I don't want, that was a previous set. I don't know, but I already created that set. So there's ways you can import, and there's ways that you can add folders. There's ways that you can do it individually. If you just choose one to do it, if you do it yourself, one at a time, one word at a time, you put the word in, it does actually pop up in the definitions, a bunch of definitions that are already in Quizlet that you can pick from. Okay, but I just imported from an Excel from the sheet that we got from Blender. Okay, and I am okay because I will always do this for our words. So I'm okay to share my list. Well, I already shared this folder with you, and that's where all of the content vocab is going to go. I'm also going to add a folder that I'll share with you about word parts, roots and prefixes and suffixes. And then there's going to be an academic vocabulary folder as well that I'll add, and I'll share that as well. And I believe you can just add my lists. So once you've done that and you've got your classes populated with your students, come over to classes and I'll show you. Okay, I'm in my class now, and this is, as far as I can tell, now I'm on my lists. Okay, whoops, I don't want to remove it. Oh, as far as I can tell, sorry, I want to go to my classes, not mine. No, I want to go to my study sets. As far as I can tell, this is pretty much the only difference in between the paid version. Well, there's a few. The only one I use is this right here, view class progress. Okay, so I can see that these kids in this class haven't started this first hour. We didn't actually get to this today, but 7th hour did. So let me go over to 7th hour and I'll show you that. Can I do it by class? I think I can. Progress. Oh, we got progress up here. Okay, that's another way you can do it. Okay, so what you see is these students have already started going through these. All right, I generally count 4 out of 6 because I think write and spell are part of learn. So if they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if I have green check marks on 4 out of the 6, I give full credit. Okay. Let me show you. If you see, okay, this is what I was talking about earlier. If you see over here, some of these students, their username is like that, and I can't look and see it. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. Okay, so I instruct my students to come over here, settings, okay, and then scroll down to username, change your password, change your username. Okay, now you can only do this like once apparently, but they have to have a username that reflects their name somehow. Okay, so that makes it easy. And if you want me to, I'm not going to get into it on this video. You can ask me and I'll set you up a scoring sheet. I guess I can show you how I do it. I had that open earlier. Advanced reports, no. I think it is Reading Plus Master or vocab Master, vocab. I haven't set it up yet for this quarter, but I've got let's try that one. Okay, this is a dynamic program or formula that comes out like this. So what I have done is I have gone into my class and I have gone into my progress and I have come down here and I have copied and pasted, okay, all the way like my whole roster for 7th hour. Copy, and then it goes into I'll just show you what it looks like. Where did I go? Is this it? Okay, master, okay, working part. Okay, so what it looks like is looks like this when I paste it. And when I run this report, then it gives me zeros or hundreds. See, this kid did it, okay? When I run this formula, and then that makes it easy. But it might be too cumbersome for you. It might not be quick enough for you, but I can set it up for you if you want. I'm not going to show you that in the video because we're already long-winded. I believe that's pretty much all I need to. Where's the username? How to assign. All right, so when I'm assigning it to a class, if I'm assigning in a list, okay, back up here to library. I don't know why this won't stay highlighted. You go back up to library. Whatever study set you're going to get it, folders or sets, okay, cycle 1. So if I want to assign this specific set, click on it, and down here I can share, and then it'll give me a link. Okay, I don't share directly through Google Classroom because it only lets you do it with one class at a time. But if you copy the link, Then you go into, make sure it's copied. Then you go into Classroom, and you can say classwork. I'm going to create an assignment. Okay, I'm going to put the link in there. And over here, then I can, you got to put a title and everything, but over here you can do all your classes at once. Click on all of them. Okay. Instead of having to click on one from the dialog directly from Quizlet. All right. So that's how I do it. I think that's most of what I need to share with you. It's not as concise as I hoped because there's a lot of rambling, but not as organized. But I'm kind of out of time, and I just ignored a call from my wife, so I'm gonna call her back and go from there. Feel free to email me if you want, or I'd actually prefer you not to drop by during planning because I get distracted real easily. But I mean, you could set up a time, or I could come see you if you want help setting up any specific Google Sheets or whatever. Okay, so that is that.